Hi, I'm Vinspeed Mark II and welcome to my Constellation Space Program, and this series is called The Road to Duna. So this is the series that's going to take us from Kerbin all the way to the Red Planet and hopefully back. And these are the vehicles that are going to help us do it, so I'll go through a vehicle by vehicle introduction. First up, this is the Duna approach vehicle, so we're going to get into this, and the guys, all 7 of them, are going to travel from Kerbin to Duna. This is the Orion Mark II crew capsule. We'll remember that from the Moon years and before that. Okay, so once they get to Duna, the Orion Mark II will rendezvous in orbit with this thing, which is, looks familiar, but it's the Altair Mark V planetary outpost vehicle. Okay, it looks very similar to the Lunar outpost vehicle, except for these very handy parachutes to help the Duna descent. Okay, so this will have been sent into Duna orbit a couple of months ahead, and with it will go. Well, so obviously they're going to get into this, and they're going to land on the Red Planet, and they'll use this as the outpost. That'll be their living quarters on the planet, and also will stay there as part of our permanent outpost on Duna. Now, to get back from Duna back into low Duna orbit, we've got not that, but that. This is the Altair Mark IV. It's essentially your standard moon lander, except for we've taken away the decoupler here for the lower stage. We've taken the fuel out of the ascent stage and stuck it onto the lower stage as well, because all it's going to do for us is it's going to, well, first of all it's going to land on Duna, but after that it's going to take us, using the entire lower stage, take us all the way back into low Duna orbit, where we'll meet up with the Orion and, you know, get back to Kerbin. But whilst we're on Duna, we'll still need to get around, so we've got these two. We've got the Duna rover, okay, nifty little thing, seat 6, just in case we land too far away from the main ascent vehicle. Okay, so seat 6, so everyone's got a ride. And for those longer trips on the Duna surface, we've got this, the pressurized Duna rover. I've used the Fire Spit Apache cockpit because it just looks cool. Yeah, so that is our fleet of vehicles for our excursion to Duna. And what we're going to do in this series in this episode is we're going to test them one by one, make sure that they all work. So the rovers, well, that rover works. Let's try this one. Breaks off. Let's see how agile it is. See if I'll make it up the side of, well, make it up to the first ramp. See if I'll make it up the side of the launch pad. Probably will actually, if it doesn't crash into it head first. Yeah, no, it's fine. A little bit of tire damage there. See if I'll make it down the other side. Won't make it up over the... Or will it? Yes, it will. That was pure luck more than anything. Still the same bit of tire damage, but there you go. That is the Duna pressurized rover. And brakes. Let's see how the other guy works. Where is it? Brakes off. Right, this one's a little bit nippier, but it's also a little bit less stable because it's quite narrow and short wheelbased. Obviously, it's important that the Kerbinauts be able to move around quite quickly whilst on Duna, so that's why we need rovers. Whoa! Again, same bit of tire damage, so it's got a problem with going up steep inclines. There we go. Alright, going down there, so that's not too bad then, is it? And that's the 2 rovers. I've got to do some testing on the ascent and descent craft, and obviously we know the Orion system works because we've tried that in our trips to the moon. So what I'll do next is we'll go on and try the descent vehicle, we'll do the high-speed re-entry test on that. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so here we are at about 15,000 kilometers with the Duna lander. Okay, and contained in here is obviously the pressurized rover. Sorry, this is Duna, well, it's a Duna ascent vehicle, really. We can use it to get back up into Duna orbit. So what we can do is we're going to carry out that high-speed test I spoke about earlier. And I think this is probably more to simulate aero braking in Duna atmosphere, which isn't that thick, really. So, right, here we go. Okay, maybe not that deep into the atmosphere. Let's turn that around and we'll bring ourselves up to about 20 kilometers. There you go. Okay, and now set for re-entry, obviously. Okay, so here we come into the atmosphere of Kerbin. Let's speed this up a little bit. Okay, and there you go. Look at that sunrise and everything. That's brilliant, isn't it? So yeah, the whole reason I kept the fairing around the pressurized rover is to act as a bit of a heat shield, because obviously, if you remember, the Altair system's actually designed to land on the moon where there's no atmosphere. Re-entering into Duna will probably cause a little bit of friction, so we're going to try and divert some of that re-entry heat around the main part of the lander by using this fairing. Right, here we go. Okay, there you go, re-entry effects kicking in. Let's just realign ourselves so that we're not getting any... There you go. There it is. That main part of the lander not getting any re-entry effects whatsoever. It's all limited to the engines, which are obviously designed to take that sort of heat anyway, and this fairing here. Okay, we're almost through. Almost. Okay, we're through the worst part of the re-entry heat, so what we're going to do is we're going to dump the fairing. There you go. And then let's get ready to land. Now, obviously, because we're landing on Duna, I've put parachutes on this thing. So, let's get down to about 8,000 and deploy the chutes. Right, so here we come. Just coming down towards that surface of Duna. We're going to separate the rover now. Let's see how that works out. Oopsie. Yeah, it didn't work out so well. I think okay. And obviously I forgot to put the brakes on the rover, but clearly that still works. Yeah, so clearly everything still works, except next time remember to put the brakes on the rover, otherwise it'll just roll away down the hill. Really? I've been Vince Speed Mark 2, and thank you for watching this first test. We'll move on now to testing one of the other vehicles. Quickly, before this gets even more embarrassing. Okay, so here we are at the final test. We're going to be testing the planetary outpost vehicle in low Kerbin orbit. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a bit of a double mission. We're going to take it up to the old Kerbin Orbital Space Station, the one that Maxi crashed, and we're just going to check out the damage around there. So we're going to use that to practice a rendezvous with this planetary outpost vehicle, because it's quite bulky and not very good at maneuvering. So we'll try that out. And also we'll just check out the damage done to the station, see if we can actually use it as a bit of an assembly area for all our Duna missions. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here we are in orbit with the planetary outpost vehicle. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a rendezvous now with the station. You'll notice I've launched the stations completely on the other side of the planet. That's how we can practice our rendezvous maneuvers with this craft at the most extreme possibility, really. So, worst case scenario, we turn up at Duna, and the Orion vehicle's completely on the other side of the planet, and we'd have to see if we can get there and dock up with it. So let's try that out. Just turn and face the turn and face maneuver node. Now this thing is just not designed for docking with anything. Okay, here we are. Here we go. Try this out, see how it works out. It's not an ideal docking situation, but hopefully it'll work. There you go. And contact. Okay, so clearly we have the ability to dock with with other vessels in orbit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to nudge the station back into the correct orbit, 120 by 120, and then put it upright, and then we can that was land back at Kerbin, in case you missed that. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the station still works, brilliant. And as it still works, we'll leave these guys on the station, and they can be the station crew. Okay, and as for this bad girl, T and R, and let's try and stop it from. Okay, obviously we need to do that. Right. Time for this ship here to deorbit and get back to Kerbin. In fact, we're probably in roundabout the right area for that sort of thing anyway. retrograde marker. Oh god. That's right, I'm pushing the wrong buttons, that's why. Okay, so luckily here we are, lined up with the retrograde. Let's see how this heat shield works. Pretty well, apparently. Okay, still coming in for the re-entry, of course. And now that we're through the worst bit of the re-entry heat, we're gonna ditch the heat shield and reveal just our 2 rovers. Okay, so here we are. The main craft and the 2 rovers coming down for a landing. Landing lights on so we can see how close to the ground we are. Okay, so I decided for obviously a quite high-speed aerial release because if you remember with the last trial with the ascent vehicle, these kept sticking underneath the ascent vehicle, so I thought might as well get rid of them mid-air and let them drift down and land next to us. And there you go, here we are down on the simulated Duna surface, and the rover's still coming down, both of them. Let's fast forward that, make sure they get here on. No, don't do that. Pop up. Okay, 2 rovers down. Brakes. And obviously brakes for that one as well. Clearly forgot to put the brakes on again. Right, so here we are. Rovers and the lander landed within, well, that's 58 meters away. So that's pretty good. Right, brilliant. And that's been the first episode of the Road to Duna. Hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time for the first part of the actual Duna mission. I've been Vince Speedmark 2.